Hey everyone, it's TM24Fan8 from Viking Gaming Servers. I am the founder and co-owner of Viking Gaming Servers, and this is our new server play series where we will focus on our custom mod pack based around Minecraft 1.7.10. We're starting in the middle of a world. We can't really do anything about that because I just randomly had this idea and thought, oh, well, you know, could be a good idea. So this video is going to focus on a quick tour around the base just to kind of get you up to speed on where we are. The next series, I promise, we'll start from scratch. You'll see everything, the thrills, the tears, all of it. So this is, I'm showing you this because I'm rather proud of it. This is my Blood Magic mob spawner, entirely controlled by wireless redstone, and I'll show you where that comes from in just a minute. We've got a villager soul shard tier 5 for villagers in here to really make a lot of LP, as well as you can see, the cursed earth for the hostile mobs as well. The altar is tier 6, and I do have to say I'm not a very aesthetic builder, as you'll find out, so I think I did pretty well on this, if I did have to toot my own horn just a little. Underneath, for those of you familiar with Direwolf 20, this may look a little familiar, but I kind of made it my own as well. We've got a Steve's Factory Manager set up under here, automating things like moving LP into a drum for later use, the spawner control, which is just this redstone emitter to the wireless transmitter. When the altar gets below a certain level, that turns on, and when the altar gets below a certain level, that turns off, and thus the lights go out and mobs start spawning to fill the altar back up. And the drum up here is full, but what happens is when the altar gets below, I think, 400 buckets, it starts pulling from that drum to keep itself from running out. And just about every transmutation I've pulled so far has not been able to run it faster than that can fill it back up, so that's pretty neat. Won't go too far into the details of the Steve's Factory Manager programming, but it's fairly interesting. Checks for all the slates and things like that, and keeps it stocked with a certain amount in this chest, which is then storage bus to the Blood Magic ME network. And we have that set up for Blood Iron from Blood Arsenal as well. So neat little setup we've got under here. Does some things and stuff and all that. Does them well. Over here we've got a Ritual of Binding, Ritual of Unbinding, and this is the Tier 3 Demon Summoning area, which right now there's no Tier 3 demons in Blood Magic that I'm aware of, so we can only spawn Tiers 1 and 2, but in the future there will be new things added, so I figured why not build the whole thing. It looks pretty neat, doesn't it? There's that. Oh, my buddy the pink wither. My wife decided it's my grandma. Don't ask. Our horses. And now we go over here to, and our automated alchemy. Pretty self-explanatory. We got an interface from the central ME network as well as the Blood Magic on each one. There's 2 more in progress over here, and they automate alchemy. Quick look at the turbine here from Big Reactors, using a reactor control program that I have to give a big shout out to Direwolf 20 for. This is amazing, and I could have never come up with it myself, so props to him. Our tree farm, with most of the barrels storage bust, and it actually fuels itself off charcoal from the wood it harvests, so this is actually not tied into our main power or our system in any way. It is completely self-sustaining, so that's pretty cool. This was our original power source and still does provide us with materials like woods and charcoal and some forms of food. Haven't decided on a use for the saplings yet since we discontinued biofuel use, but we keep them there just in case. Oh, hi. Love this sword. If you don't know what this is, it's the Holy Sword Excalibur. You get it from fighting the Gaia 2.0 and rolling the dice from Botania, our little summoning structure here. So this is the Botania area. There's Jaded Amaranthus out there. My wife actually came up with this setup. Basically, it makes Botania flowers grow, the mystical flowers that are found in World Gen, but this makes it a little easier to get your hands on them because we turn off this hopper hock here. I'll show you what it does. Flip this lever, and the redstone mana spreader will Send a pulse out to that drum of the wild. And harvest the flowers. Oh, my magnet's getting some of them. And the Hopper Hawk will deposit those into the ME interface, which goes into our Botania network over here. This is a separate network, also not tied in with our main ME network, just to keep things a little organized. What you're looking at here is the main ME network. I like to keep this Hopper Hawk off when we're not using it because it sucks up everything you drop, regardless of... Oh, hi! This is my wife, ZFP988. You'll see her a lot in this series. She is responsible for a lot of the prettier builds around here. As anyone will tell you, Chris and I are not very big aesthetic builders. She really is the main reason that our worlds look as pretty as they do. So, big props to her on that. And she's become the Botania guru as well. I mean, I'm pretty knowledgeable with this mod, but she's gone above and beyond. I seriously ask her questions about it. I mean, and that's saying something. Whoa. As you may notice, I'm fireproof. I'm wearing the Thaumic Tinkerer Cami armor. Very powerful stuff, very expensive, one of the most ridiculously difficult things to make that I have ever made in my modded Minecraft history, but so far very worth it. You can enable and disable it with a hotkey. Also the bottomless pouch here. So yeah, not much to see here in the Botania area, other than that nifty little flower harvesting system. We got our agglomeration plate, various mana generation, got munch dews over here at the tree farm. And other than that, we've just got thermal lilies. Nothing too exciting. I've seen way better setups, but this is functional. That building up there, by the way, is the Redwood Cafe. It's our restaurant, and we will get to that in a little bit. The Missus is doing a little construction up there at the moment, but we had a lot of fun building that. So we go back in here. This ritual, if I right-click on it, will make it nighttime. But we're not going to do that right now. We've got a few little farms in here, ender pearls and netherwort and sugarcane, and all of them have rituals of the green grove underneath them from blood magic that basically accelerates growth. They're all shut off right now because we've got a lot of each of these crops, but in the event that we need a lot in a short time, we can turn those on and it really works pretty fast, along with advanced thaumium golems with their cute little glasses and stuff to harvest and gather. This ender chest goes into the ME network. This is my wife's little farm back here. I won't say what we actually call it because it's a little insensitive. But she's got some golems back here doing a little work for us. Our enchanting table is also down here. Magical wood with an advanced enchantment table from Enchanting Plus. Very nice. Basically what it does is it allows you to, for an XP cost, similar to regular enchanting, it will allow you to pick the enchantment and level of said enchantment on any enchantable item, or just about all of them. There's a couple cases where it doesn't work, but pretty nifty. Oh yeah, Twilight Forest portal. I don't go there much. Wife loves it there. It's like her second home. So this is the main room of the base. We've got, you know, basic manual machines and things like that. My creeper trophy that I love to annoy people with. My automated CPU line, which again is done through Steve's Factory Manager, just to give you a kind of a little bit of a look there. And basically there's an ME interface under there that puts items into this chest, and Steve's Factory Manager does the appropriate actions with them, and then when they're turned into processors, it deposits them back into the interface. So it's pretty nifty. We've got 5 inscribers here, all fully speed upgraded, and it works pretty well. Experience Obelisk does what it says on the tin, gives you XP, puts away XP. We've got a lot of XP in there. And I was lucky. Early on, I found an uncrafting table. I almost never find these, so I was pretty excited. There's actually a few of them around the base. For the cost of XP, some items can be deconstructed into what was used to craft them, but not all. There's a lot of restrictions on it. Oh, while we're up here, I also have to show you the very nice staircase, also made by the wife. That staircase over there as well. Our base is very much in the side of a mountain and kind of on a plateau behind it. So and we've got a village over here, and a volcano that used to be covered in lava. And you know, we were pretty excited when we found this area because we thought there was a lot we could do with it, and so far it has not disappointed. Back inside. Oh yeah, little Hunger Games reference. Welcome to District 13. I'm going to take off my magnet before I approach that. This is our XP berry farm. There is an autonomous activator underneath each one of these bushes, and it will click and make the berries drop off of them. And they are sucked into this vacuum hopper, which goes into an autonomous activator, turns it into XP, which then gets sucked in again and goes up into the obelisk. And that top autonomous activator, we had a reinforced watering cannon, but we took it out because it really wasn't needed anymore. Security station, terminal, with, you know, a few of us in it. AE2 finally decided to get a little secure. This is our crystal growth, which is again a mix of AE2 and Steve's factory manager. We've got Certus quartz charging going on here, and we've got a person with wings chilling over there. Down another floor, we were kind of nicknamed early on Mr. and Mrs. Botania, and that's each of our heads, because this is our bedroom, and that's a few of the armors I've used in the past. You can't see anything on this stand, but it's a set of Terra Steel armor, fully enchanted. The reason you can't see it is because it's got Phantom ink on it, so but if I were to shift right click, I could put it on. Blood Magic bound armor, early Botania armors, Man of Steel. And I don't know what I was doing with these villager trophies. I just kind of felt like it. And we've got little mini-me's here, some of which have died and or mutated. I don't know what's up with them. Thaumcraft blocks of warding keeping them in. We're terribly cruel. This is where we keep our babies. You know, it's how we roll. Down here we have the automation room, which started out as an attempt by me to make a factory a lot prettier than the factory I had in the last world, if you saw any of the screenshots from that. But, yeah, I mean, once I figured out that AE2 facades are not compatible with connected textures, it kind of derailed a bit. But we've got most of our auto-crafting in the roof here, which if I take out my network tool, where'd you go? There it is. You'll see just how much cabling is underneath that makes it do what it does, as well as all the cabling and stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes in this room, not the least of which being in here, the server room, where we built, once again, something I'm going to have to credit somebody else for. This is called the Super Soren drive, an idea from Soren, mod developer and popular Twitch streamer. And this is basically just a ridiculous way to have massively expandable storage easily. I won't go into the details of it. You can find it on YouTube. There's a lot of tutorials on it and stuff. Basically, we can put disks into this terminal, and it automatically puts them in a drive, and it's just cool. Interface and pattern terminals in here. I didn't cover my work there. Whoops. So that's the server room. We've got our full compressed cobble up over here. I'm also hijacking some of the cobble for matter balls. But we've got 32 world interaction upgrades and 32 speed upgrades in each of these transfer nodes. So they pump the cobble in there pretty quick. Well, sometimes. I think we're having TPS issues right now. We had 2 octuple compressed cobblestone. I think Chris took one to use for something. But basically it goes on down the line here and compresses it into each level until you get octuple compressed, which you can see there, 43 million, over 43 million cobblestone. Pretty, honestly, I don't even know why I needed it. It was just cool. Eat here. Fruit of Grisaia is another one of those Gaia 2.0 perks from Botania. It's like an unlimited food, which is pretty amazing too, because I mean we've got this restaurant and all, but it's nice to just have one item to carry around that's all your food right there. Fluid terminal. So basically everything in this room is tied into the ME network and does some form of automation. We very rarely have to actually touch these machines ourselves. The system tells them what to do. The coke oven and the blast furnace are manual, and this used to be a secret passageway, by the way, into a bedroom until I made that door not so secret anymore. Ta-da! Bedroom. And you'd have never known that door was there. So that's pretty much this level. Hello. There we go. This room also has its own energy cell because you'd be surprised how much power this can demand, especially when all the ore tripling is running and we start doing a lot of auto crafting. It can get pretty intense. Down to the, as you see here, the Thaumcraft room. This is where we do Thaumcraft stuff. This is our infusion altar. I've put a lot around it to try to reduce instability, but I'm convinced that nothing makes it go away completely. We've done the best we can. We have an add-on for Thaumcraft called Thaumic Energistics, which I really like. It's the first time we've had it in a world, and I've got nothing but good to say about it. It's got arcane auto crafting. This charges off of a V relay interface, which basically takes these V relays, which if you played Thaumcraft at all, you know what they are. They pull off an energized node over here, provide energy, and these relay interfaces allow you to tie in objects that can use the V from the node. Among them also is the arcane crafting terminal. You're probably familiar with the arcane crafting table. This is basically that, but tied in with applied energistics and able to charge your wand of choice in it. I have, shameless plug here, in my bottomless pouch, I have a Icorium adorned Icor cloth strapped silverwood wand. And, I mean, again, it was really not actually necessary to make, but it stores so much V and it does so many awesome things. And the Icorium caps have such a huge discount that, you know, when you get bored enough, it's a fun project. And so, yeah, by the way, this is the bottomless pouch, another thing you can do with Icor from Thaumic Tinkerer. It's basically acts as a wand focus pouch in that you can pull wand foci from it and put them on your wand. But unlike the focus pouch, it also stores regular items, and it stores, I think, as much as about 4 vanilla chests. So it's definitely a decent investment. It solves a lot of inventory problems. You can see how much crap I carry along with me that I wouldn't be able to otherwise. Pretty neat. Some sanguine armor from Blood Magic. It's basically just for a bigger discount, and I no longer use it because I have even better now. This is used to melt Essentia, which is also neat because we've got a terminal here to show us how much Essentia we have stored in the ME network in our Essentia storage cells. No more jars. And what's neat about that is there's a Essentia provider behind this alchemical construct who provide the Essentia that we need to craft certain things that we've programmed into it, as well as this infusion provider. This is my favorite thing in a Thaumic Energistics right here. It negates the need for jars at all. Basically, it pulls Essentia from the network, and the Essentia bubbles come out of it just like they would from jars into the infusion altar. So all around, it's just less wasteful and less cumbersome, and I love it. I highly recommend. Got an infernal furnace over here that supplies us with stone on demand. Arcane spa. Wards off that nasty warp. Little panoramic window here in the Osmotic Enchanter room. Pretty neat stuff in the magic department. And right now we're just giving a brief overview. Anything that anybody wants any details on, feel free to ask in the comments, and I will gladly explain them. Mr. Derpy, my co-owner here at Viking Gaming is minederpes, and we gave him that nickname in response to the Mr. and Mrs. Botania. And there's not much to see down here. He's got some Mistcraft linking books and couple terminals. His room is completely warded by arcane stuff, although you can pretty easily cheat that. Nothing really interesting in here. Go down here. We've got an automated sheep farm. Basically, when this chest gets below a certain level, it turns on this timer, which sends a mana pulse to this drum of the gathering and shears the sheep. This comparator basically will control the redstone signal, and if it gets down below a certain amount, timer will be automatically triggered. Sorry, had a brain fart there. This is our spawner killer room. We've got, this is where I really ought to get out my Yeta wrench so I can show you kind of behind the scenes here a little. We've got different colored redstone signals controlled by each one of these levers. I've got a blood magic ritual down here that provides lava to these thermal lilies, which are basically for the tiger's eye, which keeps creepers from exploding, and the vinculotus, which keeps endermen from teleporting. And we've got spawners down here, tier 5 soul shards for wisps. Oh god. Let's see, wisps, endermen, and creepers, and then we've got powered spawners for magma cubes, twilight forest wraiths, and blazes. And we've got grinders here. We can turn those off if we wanted to go in and kill manually. But just to give you an idea, let's turn on the wisp spawner and watch how quickly this builds up. And this is a way to get a lot of wisp ethereal essence in a hurry. And they'll really start building up in there pretty quick. Let's kill this ritual. Soul Shards, Reborn. If you don't have it in your pack, you should. Or come play ours. Shameless plug. Pretty awesome. So let's turn that off. Those wisps die. Chris has a bit of a villager farm down here to make emeralds. Which we have lots of emeralds, but it's one of those fun project type of deals. Heading back up, we have down here is the brains of our ME network. We'll show you at the AE2 Ops Travel Anchor. This is where, this is basically where I make a mess and call it art. No, this is responsible for just about 90% of the applied energistics operation in our base. We've got quantum network bridges to a few places, a couple more over there. We've got different colored cable that is also labeled to correspond with different parts of the base. These dense cables, without getting into too much detail about channels, basically these dense cables have the highest bandwidth, and then the P2P tunnels transport that down there on a standard cable, so it's pretty nifty like that. The animal farm over here is again a similar, I'm not gonna, well, sure, why not, just to show you. We've got all kinds of underground Ender IO conduits here, as well as some applied energistics, making it all tie together. We've got, this is basically our animal and fruit farm. This rancher is for milking cows. Most of this farm is off right now, except for the fruit picker and these sewers, which provide fertilizer. These farms automatically breed animals. What happens is there's always 2 of each to breed in here, and then once they get bred, this detects any baby animals and sucks them through to here. Once they're fully grown, they get slaughtered. And there's a veterinary station we can use to apply growth syringes to make them adults immediately if we wanted to do that to speed up production just a little bit. Kind of morbid. I mean, this slaughterhouse produces liquid meat and pink slime. It's a little McDonald's-esque, as my wife likes to say. And most of it's off right now because we've got a fairly good supply. But we've got a nice control wall here for it all. Courtesy of Ender IO conduits, because, well, if we make it so all conduits are visible here, there we go. You can see how much conduit we have running in one block spaces here. The ability to do that with Ender IO is really indispensable in a lot of compact setups like this. Stuff that, I mean, thermal expansion ducts are really neat, but Ender IO lets you do that compact stuff that you would otherwise waste a whole lot more space on. Running around here trying to remember what I was doing. Oh yes, the Redwood Cafe. So this was a project between my wife and I. And she did most of the pretty building, and I did a lot of the cool electronic wiring. I'm actually going to get that wrench back out and the network tool, because we can see that there's all kinds of nifty stuff going on here that, boom, can't see it without that tool. We've got a terminal at the bar that only offers drinks, courtesy of a view cell. Right now, a lot of these are just placeholders. We're making more of them as time goes on. We got a bar with plates, and you can actually place food items on these plates too. It's pretty cool. And we've got a bit of a dining floor out here. Check-in desk, just in case there's a wait list on those Saturday nights here on Viking Gaming servers. You know, don't want to inconvenience anyone. So this is where we let you know that you'll be waiting for 3 hours. Behind this arcane door is employees only. We all have a key to it, but no one else can open it. This is the kitchen, and we've got a terminal that accesses the whole network in here. We've got a fluid terminal, which we mostly use for milk and water back here. We've got a terminal for ingredients, and this terminal on the countertop provides finished food items. And we have this back here to modify view cells when we come up with a new item. There we go. Wouldn't click. As well as some of our cookery and, oh, this nice shiny quantum network bridge up here. The annihilation plane was to throw things into. Not really sure why I put it there, but, you know, it works. And I think that pretty much covers our base as of right now. We've got, I mean, if we go out here, there's a lot of crops and trees and stuff, all used for the restaurant. We took the restaurant very seriously in this world. Oh, forgot to show you the best part. The outdoor patio of the restaurant, complete with a fire and some comfy armchairs. It's just a good place to enjoy a nice warm summer night, since it is never winter in this biome. A little bit of a beekeeping setup here. We used to have a squid in here, Ink Sacks with his rancher, but the squid was kidnapped. There is a 350 million emerald ransom on his head, so, you know, we just kind of didn't want to go there. Blood Magic ME network. And as I said, we've got the automatic slate crafting, which even goes so far as to take my blood orb out of the altar, by the way, and put it back in when it's done. So let's say I was to take out one of these imbued slates. You'll see my orb just showed up in the system. And if we go up here, you'll see it crafting these slates. There's reinforced, and then it's going to make it imbued, and then it'll pop it through back into the system, and there it goes. And my orb's back on the altar. And I could take the orb off if I need to, but I keep it on here because there's a lot of constant rituals running that drain from my LP, so it's just the best if I leave it on there at all times. Otherwise, I could do nasty things like die and stuff. We've got, oh, man, can't type. Didn't want to type in a lava bucket, I wanted to get a bucket. We've got a few serenades in the nether around the base, but this one is basically, ouch, literally a never-ending lava puddle. I mean, it just automatically refills. So that's useful over here. Let's put this back. There are wireless chargers like this at various points around the base. They charge any RF-powered items in your inventory. And can I just give a shout-out to the thermodynamics developers, because these cryo-stabilized flux ducts put through unlimited. There is literally not a limit to how much current they put through, so they're fairly expensive, but they, I mean, they look so cool. I just can't get over how cool they look. And the rest of the ducts from thermal expansion or thermal dynamics also look pretty neat. So all in all, it's pretty graphically nice mod. We got a little test dummy here. Shows you how much damage you're doing with a given weapon. You can even put armor on it and test it. So that's from a mod called I wish I was joking. That is the name of the mod. Anything the wife would like to show us? I think she's I think that was a no. So I think that pretty much covers our entire base. So until next time, this is TM24Fan8. Hope you enjoyed episode 1 of our inaugural series, and we will have more for you soon. Take it easy.